Hello there, good evening and many thanks for joining us here on Rwanda Television News. We do hope you had yourselves a great and productive midweek, Wednesday, and now welcome to Edition. This is what is coming up. Residents say the trio of Kazungu Dennis, who is suspected of killing people and dumping them in a mass grave in a house he was renting, should be brought to the area where the crime was committed. On Wednesday evening, Les Pas, a popular venue for cultural events in Kigali, fully engulfed in flames following a raging inferno that broke out. It is my very great pleasure having your company tonight on Rwanda Television News and coming to you straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. My name is Sam Kalisa. And as we kick it off tonight, residents say that the trio of Kazungu Dennis, who is suspected of killing people and dumping them in a mass grave in a house he was renting, should be brought to the area where the crime was committed. Meanwhile, Chichichiro District DA Mutsinzi Antoine consoled residents and said authorities are taking charge of this particular situation. We do have the report with Adam Squizera.
The incident happened in Busanza, Kanombe sector, Chichichiro district, where a suspect by the name of Kazungu Dennis took the victims, mostly women and girls, raped, robbed, and killed them, as residents said. They started digging yesterday. At first, they found 7 people. They continued digging, and the number increased to 12. Sometimes, we used to hear ladies screaming and coming here to see what is happening, and they could say that he was almost killing them. We reported those cases, and they could take him, and later came back. Residents request justice authorities to bring the trial to the area where the crime was committed. We are requesting that the person should be brought here before the citizens' gathering so that everyone can testify against him. The Chichichiro District Executive consolidated residents, urging them to take part in their own security and safety efforts. At various occasions, Kazungu was arrested, but they lacked witnesses. He has been living that house for 1 year and 4 months. But he only paid for 6 months. At first, he was detained because he wasn't paying rent. From that, investigation continued, and that is how we got to know that he killed a number of people. Some say 6, others say he killed 9. But authorities are still following up on the issue to know all about this case. We urge residents who might have more evidence to reveal them so that they can help in investigation. We ask the residents to be calm, as the matter is now under control. Residents says that the suspect victims are 12, mostly women and girls. However, no institution in charge confirmed this. The suspect has been changing the identity, as in some documents he was found identified as Sibomana Eric, and in some, Chimimana Joseph, later to find that his actual name is Kazungu Dennis.
On Wednesday evening, Les Pas, a popular venue for cultural events in Kigali, fully engulfed in flames following a raging inferno that broke out. The police firefighters were able to put it out before affecting the surrounding establishments, including the Kigali Public Library and the nearby petrol station. Investigation is still underway to reveal the cause of this fire accident. Some of those who were working from this burnt space expressed a sorrow as destroyed property haven't been revealed yet.
We just turned off the power system, but the fire was already in, affecting the curtains and music instruments. We tried in all means we had, but we failed to stop the fire. We had the business of selling coffee. All our containers burned down, other machines, all the equipments were burned down.
We'll bring you more on this particular incident as it comes up. Of course, you know where to find it on Rwanda Television News. And as we move ahead, experts and visionaries who are in Rwanda for the Smart Cities Investment Forum demonstrate that there is a need for investment in technology infrastructure for the development of smart cities and proper service delivery to the inhabitants of these particular cities. We do have the report with Prince Manzi.
Etienne Rukundo emphasized on how he'd never forget when he used to sit in a cyber room for reading his email. He and other citizens appreciate on how they sit in the car-free zone downtown and access the free internet.
Software developer n'umuntu ukora website. So gewe nyibyaza umusaruro cyane.
I am used to coming here in the car-free zone. I'm a software developer, so I need internet in most of my work. You just found me when I was downloading videos that will help me in mastering this field.
cyangwa se free internet iradufasha kubera yuko
Free Wi-Fi is important as it helps us in saving up the money that we spend on internet, and we find it to be very helpful. In embracing technology locally, it is fondly known of the usage of e-cards in paying transport fee and the payment of events tickets online. Yvonne Gilbert Nishimwe, heading Centrica, that offers these services, demonstrates that investing in e-businesses is profitable.
It's really profitable because smart solutions, they are new, and you know that when solutions are new and are solving a particular problem, the adoption is very high. So when the adoption is very high, also it leads to what? To profit, which is a card that helps the commuters in cities and also in intercity commuting, help them to make a payment without using cash. I think for those people who attend different events, they know our solution named Ticket, which we use to provide smart ticketing for events and sports. So those are the two main solutions that we are providing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Experts and visionaries in cities development across Africa find technology to be a sustainable solution to the fast settlement in cities. Pidance Rubingisa is the mayor of Kigali City.
ibi bisubizo tugenda tubona mu mujyi twishakamo dufatanije n'abandi bafatanyabikorwa.
These solutions that we get in collaboration with various partners are to be fastened. We have an innovation where dirt is recycled and it is being applied across the city. No place left behind. But we have to consider in future when these cities will be highly populated.
Mu gihe cy'imyaka iri imbere aho imijyi izaba ituwe cyane.
In Rwanda, the urbanization rate was on an 18.4% in 2017. The aim is 35% by 2024. Statistics demonstrate that African cities will be populated by 760 million by 2030, an increase of 50% compared to the current numbers. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Prince. But before we let you go on another matter, the Auditor General has urged all concerned authorities to follow up on a daily basis how construction projects are implemented. Otherwise, the government will continue to lose large amounts of money due to negligence. We do have Prince continue with this particular report.
On Wednesday, the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee began its public hearings based on the Auditor General's report for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, starting with the Rwanda Housing Authority.
Ayo masoko nayo na amasoko akorwa mu buryo bwa false account.
Those tenders are issued through the false account, meaning we usually work with the reverse false or engineering brigade. The tenders usually require to be implemented quickly. But Director General, likely you're the one in charge of such things. Tell us then, is supervision over such tenders prohibited? It's not prohibited, but the regulations of false accounts do require that the construction work and purchase of materials be done by the government employees. Tell us the truth, because we went to the sites ourselves. Are Rwanda Housing Authority employees really present? The answer to that question was part of the challenges segment of presentation. The fact is that the sheer volume of the work they are supposed to supervise is just too large, be it quantity and quality-wise, when it comes to the project, such that the approach of using employees is just not realistic, and they are never there permanently because they have to move from site to site hence those gaps.
atandukanye ugasanga rero harimo iyo gap.
Such gaps are, however, costing the government very large amounts of money.
Supervision imaze iki? Iratubarira quantities, imenye ko quantities zirimo gushyirwa kuri.
What is the purpose of supervision? It tells us of the quantities required and actually being used on buildings. Yet the reports we are giving are showing quantities that were paid for that are not accounted for. That is a supervision problem. The next purpose of supervision is to ensure quality. Yet we have many buildings with substandard quality because the Rwanda Housing Authority did not do the proper follow-up. Thirdly, supervision is supposed to speed up projects so that we avoid cost overruns. And yet we have many such cases. We have talked about this many times, yet Rwanda Housing is yet to implement anything. It is still a work in progress. This issue of proper supervision is very urgent, not just in the case of Rwanda Housing Authority, but in every instance that involves government structures, force accounts, or not. During that fiscal year, not only was the Rwanda Housing Authority found to have failed properly supervised the implementation of 5 tenders worth 11 billion Rwandan francs, the institution was also found to have had 16 other shortcomings that included utilizing only 59% of donor funds and mistakes that cost the government 14 million Rwandan francs in court following litigation. Nevertheless, institutions generally appear to be trying to implement the recommendations made by the Auditor General.
Ubona ko harimo impinduka kuko nk'umwaka wabanje ugereranyije.
Certainly, you can say change because in the previous fiscal year, there were around 80-something institutions we had to summon. When you add the projects, the total number was more than 100. For this fiscal year, we'll be summoning 68 institutions. That is a sign that these public hearings are working. Also, officials admit to their shortcomings, and in the following reports, we see measures to correct previous mistakes.
Kuyahindura ugasanga koko nko muri raporo zikurikiyeho turabibonye.
The public hearings being carried out by the Public Accounts Committee are to last for 20 days. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Regional and political analysts note that the East African Community regional forces have contributed much in the journey to restoring peace and security in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. The mandate of the East African Community regional force was extended to 3 months. Adam Squizera.
The heads of state agreed on the mandate extension in the 22nd Extraordinary Summit that held in Nairobi, Kenya, after reviewing the operational milestone achieved by the East African Community Force towards the restoration of security in the Eastern DRC. On the side of the regional political analysts, finds that these forces have contributed much in the security restoration in the past 10 months. There was fightings between DRC Army and M23 and other associated rebel groups that support the government to fight M23, including FDLR. Then, what those forces did was to stop these fightings and emphasizing the dialogues towards solving that security issue. This summit, the heads of state of the EAC member countries agreed to extend the duration of the mandate of the East African Community Regional Forces and the status of forces agreements for a further period of 3 months, from 9th September to 8th December 2023. However, extending the mandate of these forces came after the pressure from the Kinshasa governments towards these forces, which also linked to the lack of will of this country in solving the problems of insecurity, which led to the resignation of the commander of the army, Major General Jeff Nyaga, in April this year. This is where Gasomina Jean-Baptiste, a political analyst, emphasizes that the political will is one of the most important things needed to solve the security issue in the Eastern DRC, which will further facilitate the mission of these forces. As we always say, in order for these 3 months to become more productive, there have to be a need of dialogue well, so that as long as those dialogues are not set in place to hold, we don't expect a sustainable solution of those fightings. This 22nd Extraordinary Summit of the EAC Heads of State affirmed that there will be an evaluation report From the Council of Ministers, Adams Kwizera, RTV News.
Artificial intelligence is transforming every walk of life. It is a wide-ranging tool that enables people to rethink how to integrate information, analyze data, and use the resulting insights to improve decision-making. Locally, the government as well as private individuals and institutions are tirelessly working to adapt this trend and have it contribute to transforming the economy and other digital spaces. Rwanda's Idi Mukeshimana ventured into this trend and established an AI solution that connects the African continent to the Chinese market. In an exclusive interview with my colleague Jean-Pierre Kagabo, he explained more on these solutions and expected impact.
Because first of all, artificial intelligence is everything. Now we are living in the world of big data, in the world of technology, where everything gonna be digitalized. And also, we have to take decision based on the data. It means that when you have the data, you're gonna take decision based on the data. So now, reason why the data gonna change the lives of Rwandan people, it's because, for example, farmers, they take decision, but no data. There is no fact. But technology, AI, machine learning, IoT and feed sensors, drone crops, monitoring crops, all of those tools gonna assist farmers to have accurate data so that they can take decisions based on the data.
Given the future prospect and demographics of Africa, in Africa we are going to have more than 2 billion in 2050. So the lot of youth is transforming life and agriculture. What could be your advice to youth when it comes to digital transformation?
My advice is this. Youth, for example, youth and women, if they want to change future, they should put more effort in AI and machine learning. And because it's gonna assist to change the lives for everybody in Rwanda, and also including farmers, including those people, livestock, you know. So not only in farming, even livestock technology also can be used. It means that digital transformation, it's gonna change life for everybody. It's gonna like make jobs easy.
How did you manage to open a company in China where you went for studies, and how do you export to your communities?
Okay, so now our company, my company is there in China just as a bridge between China and Africa. Because most of us, we know the diplomatic relationship between China and Africa, it's only international trade. It's only goods, but not only goods. We have also to trade knowledge, technology, because as we know now, China, it's well advanced in technology all over the world, especially 5G technology. So that is why now my company is there in China, but as a bridge between China and Africa, especially my country, Rwanda. So no one can change my country except me, as my company is part of a group. So that is why I'm here in Tanzania also to change how technology can change the lives of Africans.
Can you give an example of how you transform lives in Africa through agriculture?
For example, now we have a project called IoT and feed sensors, where we can assist farmers in Tanzania to correct the data in a daily basis. For example, farmer, especially farmer in the village, he has to record data daily basis. But some of them, they are not educated. So it's going to be hard for them to record the data in daily basis. That is why now we have IoT and feed sensors in the farm, so that we can correct the data every day by using our technology.
Idi Mukeshimana, an expert in artificial intelligence, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to Kagawa for such an informative interview. And moving ahead to education matters, the University of Rwanda, the Rwanda Polytechnic, the Rwanda Development Board RDB, and Curtin University, a leading tertiary education institution based in Australia, have signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a partnership focused on developing academic and scientific collaboration. The signing ceremony took place on a Tuesday in Perth, Australia. Vice-Chancellor Professor Didas Muganga Kaihura and Deputy Vice-Chancellor for Global Professor Seth Kunin signed on behalf of the University of Rwanda and Curtin University, respectively. Dr. Edward Kadozi, Sector Strategic Capacity Building Analyst, represented Rwanda Development Board at the signing ceremony. The signing ceremony was also attended by Rwanda's High Commissioner in Australia, Jean Dodier Uihanganye, and the Chief Executive Officer of the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board, Yamina Karitanyi. Professor Kaihura explained that while the MOU gives a room for the signatories to expand the scope, the initial focus will be on mining and health sciences. He explained delight at the opportunity to work with Curtin University, a world leader in mining and geology.
A very young department, School of Mining and Geology at the University of Rwanda, which really needs support from all our partners, and in particular Curtin University, being in Perth, a city and Western Australia, very well known ranked highly worldwide when it comes to mining. We can never have any other strategic partner like Curtin University when it comes to mining and geology-related services or training.
Meanwhile, the Rwanda Development Board RDB was buoyed by the signing of the MOU, which it said is in line with Rwanda's policy stance of positioning herself as a regional knowledge and innovation hub, including in health, science and mining. According to Dr. Kadozi, the latter remains a very critical sector for Rwanda's economic growth, but it is largely affected by a skills gap.
Most of our people who are in the mining sector across the whole value chain of mining, they have skills gap of about almost 62%. So that one is largely affecting, it affects the volumes of the mining we are talking about, it affects the quality, it affects the distance of the work, the mining activity. It affects a lot. So that's the hugeness from artisans up to the high level of the value chain of mining. So that is the big chunk we needed to focus on and see how we bridge that one.
The officials say that RDB is working hard to ensure that Rwanda attracts these skills to bridge these gaps and in doing so increase Rwanda's competitiveness. He said today's MOU signing with Curtin University fits into this particular perspective. Ahead, on Wednesday, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning, in partnership with CLADO, distributed the fiscal year 2023-2024 Citizen Budget Guide. A Citizen Budget Guide is a simpler, less technical version of the national budget, specifically designed to present key information to the public. The Citizen Budget Guide is presented and disseminated to increase citizens' understanding of the national planning and budgeting processes, promote their participation in both the planning and implementation of the selected projects. This is in line with the principles of the fiscal transparency and accountability of one of the ways through which citizens are made aware of what government does, hence encouraged to participate in the planning and budgeting process. The Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Dr. Uzia Ndagijimana, commended the move as a way of increasing citizen participation in various activities. He called upon citizens to effectively participate in budget implementation and monitoring on related related programs and projects through the different forums, which highly informs a subsequent national planning and budgeting process. The 2023-2024 Citizen Budget Guided Dissemination and Distribution marks the 12th time the booklet has been disseminated. The total budget for the fiscal year 2023-2024 is 5,030.1 billion Rwandan francs, with an increase of 265.2 billion Rwandan francs, respectively, and representing a 6% compared to the 2022-2023 fiscal year budget that was revised and was equivalent to 4,764.8 billion Rwandan francs. And from this, we come to the end of our tonight's edition. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us on this evening's edition. And up until next time, stay safe and have a great evening ahead. Goodbye.